Hi folks, how you doing? This is Iqbal with NVDA Analysis and Assessment. NVIDIA did not have a very good last week and there are multiple reasons behind it. I will take a look in this video, but good thing is NVIDIA finally recovered a little bit on Thursday and also on Friday. In this video, we'll discuss how NVIDIA can behave before the earnings, and that gonna happen on Wednesday this week. Now let's get started. On Friday last week, Nvidia closed at around 178, so Nvidia went up about 1.72%. But last 5 days, Nvidia went down about 1.55%. And if you take a look, that's not too bad because in last 1 month, Nvidia is still up about 4.22%. And if you remember my previous video, I mentioned to you guys that if Nvidia goes down below 175, that would be a good buy point. I don't know how many of you bought Nvidia shares when it was trading around 172, 173, but personally, I bought Nvidia shares around 175 as well. In my opinion, I think I made the right decision because I think that we still have few more days before the earnings, so Nvidia still has a room for few percentage point to go up before the earnings, in my opinion. And if you take a look the cumulative percentage change Nvidia did for this quarter, you can see that the maximum percentage increase on Nvidia was 28.13%, and the minimum Nvidia went down about 2.9%. Okay, and that is from the previous earnings report, and that happened on 29th May probably. So from that point onwards, Nvidia went up about 28%. And if you take a look previous quarter, the last quarter Nvidia went up about 17.3%. One quarter prior Nvidia went up about 3.2%, and so on, right? And I made a summary table here for last 6 quarters, including this quarter as well. That will give you some idea. So on average for last 5 quarters, you see that the maximum percentage upside is 24.13%. 24.3%. In this quarter, Nvidia is up about 28%, so higher than the historical average. This also tells that Nvidia still has some room to go further up, but not much, because the maximum Nvidia touch in last 5 or 6 quarters was 38.6%. But I don't think Nvidia can go up to 38% before the earnings. So Nvidia already 28% up, so another 10% increase in 3 days. Not impossible, but in my opinion, is not likely at this point. And based on the forward P, Nvidia on Friday close, the forward P was 41.49. Last 5 weeks of average is 41.16%. So not too far off from the historical average. And if you remember my previous video that I posted about 1 week ago, I raised my maximum Nvidia price target to 191 before the earnings. My previous target was around 182. So at this point, I think 191 is too high for Nvidia to achieve in next 3 days. So I can apply some correction factor on this formula. So let's apply about 3% correction, that is 0.97, and that gives a 185. So in my opinion, a 185 before the earnings is quite achievable for Nvidia. And if we evaluate the reasons behind market went down in last few days before Friday, and that was this: the Fed chair Jay Powell speaks from Jackson Hole. So market was thinking Mr. Powell will use the hawkish tone and maybe he will not give any hint for the September rate cut. So market was under pressure on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But on Friday, the good thing happened after listening to Mr. J. Paul's speech. It looks like that he is in favor of September rate cut. He thinks that the labor market may further deteriorate if we do not intervene. So, in my opinion, they are going for a rate cut in September. The question is either could be 25 basis point or 50 basis point. So either way, the major threat or the cause for the market correction went away for some time at least. So next few days, I expect market to perform better than last week. And that should go in favor of Nvidia and other AI stocks as well. And another good thing for Nvidia and other AI stocks is no major or significant data is scheduled for next few days. I'm talking about the inflation data or the job data. So Monday, not much, you see here, and Tuesday, no big data is coming, and Wednesday, nothing is scheduled. Thursday, again, we do not have any significant data coming, but Friday, we have the PC index data, in other words, the inflation data. So that would be very critical this time. But I think that early next week, there is nothing big that can bring market down. And now let's take a look technical charts. On your screen, I am showing you 90-day hourly interval chart for NVIDIA and also the Fibonacci levels. The highest point NVIDIA touched in last 90 days is 185.3, and that's the highest point for Fibonacci levels. The next support level that's based on 23% retracement is around 168, but I do not think Nvidia can go down to this level before the earnings. So the major threat for Nvidia going down is no longer active. And also, I think that in next few days, Nvidia will experience more upward pressure versus downward pressure, right? But it does not mean Nvidia would go too high, but still Nvidia can touch 185 in next few days. So for some reason or some unforeseen circumstances, Nvidia goes down, but still, I do not think Nvidia can go down to 168 level. So maybe Nvidia can go down to 172 if some negative event happens before the earnings. And if you take a look the MACD chart, I'm talking about this chart, the second one from the top, you see that the blue line started going up on Friday, so some positive momentum is building on Nvidia at this point. Okay, so similar to this momentum that you experienced few weeks ago, and also here, and also here, and that should take Nvidia further up to 180 plus in next few days. And that's purely based on my opinion. Okay, I can be wrong as well because your analysis and assessment not 100% correct all the time. And now, if you take a look, some news that happened on Friday and over the weekend, you see here some positive for Nvidia and some neutral for Nvidia. So, some positive for Nvidia that I see some analysts are raising the price target for Nvidia. For example, this one that is from Evercore ISI, and they maintain outperform on Nvidia and raising the price target to 214. In my opinion, that's too high. And if you scroll down further, and that one is good for Nvidia and other AI stock that says Meta doubles down on super intelligence investment. It's good news for AI stocks. And also this one that's also about the chip stocks that says that chip stocks are trading higher amid overall market strength after Fed Chair Powell said restrictive policy and shifting risk may warrant adjusting the Fed's stance. And if I scroll down further, I do not see anything big regarding Nvidia, just generic news. So overall, if I summarize today's video, It looks like that positive pressure on Nvidia should start building up again early next week versus the downward pressure. And I still think that Nvidia can go further up few percentage point before the earnings. And also based on my previous video, any point below 175 was a good buy for Nvidia, and that's already happened last week. And those kind of opportunities, as a good investor, you should grab whenever happens. Okay, that's all about my Nvidia analysis and assessment for today. Also, I'm gonna make one more video probably tomorrow. I will give you the price point and the max and minimum that should be applicable before the earnings and after the earnings. Okay, so I will do some math around my formula. And I hope you like this video. Again, thanks for watching. Talk to you more in the next video. Take care.